Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is an Eternal Evolution video. Guys, today we're going to talk about all the boss battles. All the ones that I've been involved with so far, the strategies I'm using, how we go about trying to beat up some of these bosses. I'm going to basically dive into them all and see what the hell is going on. Before we do it, if you're new to the game, please download using my link down below. It does benefit me. You'll also get yourself a free hero, Artas, who's like a bruiser, frontline type of dude. Hard hitter, not bad champion. You'll get yourself some diamonds. You'll get yourself some free summons. And you can come and join my Discord if you want to and get involved with the kind of chat and banter that goes around. There is an Eternal Evolution section. If you go into the welcome room and click on this fancy emoji, then you can kind of unlock the world of Eternal Evolution on my Discord. And I've got to say, the chat is buzzing. There's lots of people in here. And we do kind of do the sneak news type of stuff as well. So there's literally just been news drop. Here's a little clip of it. So it's a sneak preview of the guild boss, which I guess is coming out in one of the patches coming up soon. Right then, let's go out into the perimeter. Let's look at Deesa caves. Deesa balls. Basically, this is where you get a lot of your gear. Yeah, this is the gear farm. You probably should use some extra diamonds to farm this more. I feel like this is one of the most important dungeons that you can fight. So Deesa caves. You do have a bit of a breakdown here of champions that are going to be good or heroes that are going to be good in the mix. And it kind of talks you through stuff. And there's also a lineup of people that are doing it well in your group, yeah, in your guild or so on your server. So it kind of shows you different heroes that are being used to beat this thing up. But ultimately, let me show you my team. I'm fighting stage 8 at the moment and clearing that after probably about a week of gameplay. And it's actually like, in terms of power, I didn't think I'd be able to beat it. I'm beating up something which is way stronger than I am. Yeah, so it does kind of show that you can use good tactics to be able to beat up stuff which is stronger than you are in this game. Let's move me out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got one frontline tank, one healer, and then I've basically got myself 3 DPSs. Now, high-level single-target DPSs would be good. You want to have lots of multi-hits. Yeah, that's really what we've got. So I've got Ravina, lots of multi-hits. I've got Taylor. He's an absolute freaking beast. Considering he's in elite, which is the equivalent of an epic champion, he's a beast. Yeah, he's my best geared champion. I've got Sorietta, who does a bunch of multi-hit skills. I would kind of like, actually, Artas. I don't have Artas to a good level on my account, but Artas, the one that you get as a freebie with my link, actually does a good job of tanking here. But let me show you this one playing through. Cool thing about this game, once you complete the level once, you can just kind of say, right, this is how many times I want to fight it now. So we're going to fight it 3 times with my standard 3 for the day. And it's like, watch out. You're not powerful enough. Sorry, but I am. I've also picked up this commander here who enables more damage when you're doing your kind of more than 3 hit ability. So she works well. And your prototypes, you want to basically just enhance this style of champ. So I've got it running on auto. I don't need to do much manual on a fight like this. We've basically got a healer, healing up my tank. My tank's a good frontline tank. Ideally, you have a multi-hitting tank. And then everyone else is just bringing a bunch of hits. You have to break the shields on 3 occasions. And once you break the shield, you can start doing damage again. As I say, Artis is actually very good here because he's a frontline. He puts drop defense on. And he's also doing multi-hits. So if I built mine out further, then definitely that would be someone that I'd want to be bringing into the mix. Also, as a bit of a sideline for the video, I re-geared people on my stream last night. First time I've really put effort into gearing. And I went from being like, I don't know, just like cruised through the next few stages of everything. Just by focusing on some gearing. So if you want to watch the VOD from my stream last night, it will be available on my Twitch. Just kind of so you can get a feel. And I'm by no means an expert here. I'm working stuff out same as you guys are. But it's interesting that once you start to get a feel for what you need in gearing, it makes a massive difference, like with any game like this. Yeah, but basically damage reduction boots as a must on your tank. And then lots of HP. High HP on your healer. We've got a lot of crit rate and attack percent on my AoE damage dealers, etc. So make sure you've got accuracy on people that land stuns. All that type of stuff is important when you're doing your builds. But you can see here, it's quite comfortable, considering this is way higher than my level. It's quite a comfortable takedown because I've got the right type of heroes. And just a good balance of team. So that is going to be Deesa's Caves, taken down pretty comfortably in what, a couple of minutes, on a level which is way above my level at the moment. Going to get to the final kind of shield requirement, shield breakdown. It is kind of tight, I guess, but then I am, as I say, quite under-leveled for this fight. Got one more shield break to do. Lots of multi-hits to take that down. A bit like Fire Knight if you play Raid. We get a multi-hitters going in. We break through it, and then we're going to nuke him down pretty damn comfortably. So that's Deesa's Caves. Deesa's Caves, as I say, is one of the most important fights that you're going to do in terms of just kind of bringing in the gear. Once you can get, I think it's stage 10. Once you can get to 10, then you start to get the white gear, which is basically, at the moment in the game, that's as good as it gets. And then you're looking for the right main stat and substats on those. Also, when you take stuff down for the first time, you do get summons as well. So that's Deesa's. Let's go into Tara Dome next. Tara Dome is where you get your prototypes from. Yeah, so again, prototypes, I think, again, it's going to be, I know it's further than 10. When do you start to get the white ones? Can you get white ones? Oh, maybe not. Okay, so it looks like the gold are as high as it gets for prototypes. That might be wrong, I don't know. The Tara Dome is all about melee champions. It's about people doing frontline damage, which I actually have got a real shortage of at the moment. I need to build some more out. I can beat stage 5 at the moment. This is where you get your prototypes. If I can get to 6, I start to have a chance of getting the I think they're called legendary, are they, gold in this one? Anyway, or divine prototypes, which is really what I'm looking for. So I'm one stage off it. I do need to do a bit of work in building champs out, but ultimately you want melee champions. So I've got one tank. I've got a healer in the back line that stays outside of the circle. Artas would be good here again. I should just build mine out. I've got one here who's got the inherit level, but he's not well geared right now. But we'll throw him in, I guess. So Artas, I've got a tank, I've got a healer, I've got an assassin who jumps into the back line, and then Taylor you can do a kind of cool trick with as well. So let's jump in for my 3 fights here. This is where actually taking a bit of time to do some manual stuff. You see, we've got auto on everyone. I've turned auto off on Taylor because he's easily my hardest carry. And once he gets his ability up, you see he's doing no damage right now because he's outside of that circle. Once he gets his ability up, what I do is I pull him with his ult inside the circle. He jumps in, and then it's as if he's a melee champion, and he's basically in there doing all the work. So I've got my assassin doing hits. Taylor, look how quickly he becomes my highest damage dealer, doing a ton of work. Healer is outside the circle, so she's not taking much damage. And then my tank is tanking it up while I've got 2 melee hits inside and Taylor doing a whole bunch of work. I do need, as I say, to just kind of get maybe 1 or 2 more. My artist has gone down because he's just not geared right now. So, but he will do a decent amount of work in this fight as well. We get to this point here. We get the kind of bombs out. Some people bring in heroes just to deal with the bombs. I think they're pretty comfortable at this level, at least. I've not fought them on a high level, but you kind of just throw in your normal DPS here. And then you basically got to do a rinse and repeat for the final stage of the boss. All I would say is when you're moving Taylor around, if you're going to do it in this type of way, make sure that you don't put him in that kind of front cone where you take a load of damage. He is quite squishy. He will die. Straight away, I jump him back in on the side. Tank's kind of forcing the cone frontwards here. Taylor going in the side does a whole load of damage. And that'll be pretty quick clear. I guess I might even be good to go up a level now. I thought I was nowhere near it, but actually I've done that quite easily. So that is the Tara Dome. Next one we got then is Cinsaro Marsh. This is where you get your commanders from. Again, like once you can clear stage 6, you start to be able to get commanders in the kind of gold background. They go to red, I think from stage 9, yeah. And then do you ever get white commanders? Not sure. No. So from 9, you've got a chance to get the kind of top tier ones, but then after that, it obviously just improves as you go up over time. So can I have a go at stage 7? I think 7's too much for me. I'm on stage 6. Basically what we're doing here is we need 1 tank, yeah, frontliner, 1 healer. So the way I do it, so tank is tanking up the damage. Healer is obviously healing the tank. And then I've got 3 champions that do a lot of AoE damage. they deal with the spiders that spawn behind us here. I've got the commander that helps me against AoE damage, supports AoE damage. Use heroes who can deal AoE damage, yeah, with the air support. Get a bit more support from her. And I've got the prototypes, which would help me with that as well. Again, just pump it up to the free things. And you see, tank goes front line. We do AoE damage to the boss, or to the eggs and stuff here. And then, obviously, when the spiderlings spawn, you either turn it off of auto on everyone and you kind of hold one back to control it yourself if you're struggling, or if you're not struggling you can just go full auto. But basically once the spiderlings spawn, you want one of your AoE dudes just to kind of turn around, pop all the spiders before they start eating into your back line. And again, depends on your power level is kind of how well you do this. I've got Ravina in there, who is an SSS hero, but she's not like fully evolved or anything. She's got no evolve levels at all, so she's behaving more like an elite at the moment. In fact, some of my elites are way stronger just because I've got copies of them over time and I've evolved them up. But you can see here, let's turn the scoreboard off. You can see whenever the spiderlings kind of spawn, the little spiders, one of the dudes pretty much has always got an ult ready. Need it now, please. As I say, it's not working. I've got no ults. And if they start eating into me, I'm in trouble. Here we go, Ravina. Gets them done. See the way she just slayed him in the background there. Gives my tank plenty of time to do the job. Means my healer's not focusing on my damage champions for healing because they're not taking any damage. And yeah, as long as you're kind of playing to your level, then you should be able to kind of get through this quite comfortably as well. This one, what I like about all of these different fights is it is a different strategy. You've got a selection of champions that we're kind of using again and again, like the front line and whatever. And there's better versions of what I've got here. But each one, you've got to kind of make sure you're thinking through the problem and thinking through the type of heroes that you want to bring. And yeah, you can see here with the AoE damage, it's absolute cakewalk as long as you've got enough power to kind of have a go. Maybe again, I'm ready for the next level. I've done that really comfortably there. So maybe I'm ready for a level up on that one. You don't lose anything, by the way, by trying to go for the level up. Yeah, if I went for 7 there, I wouldn't have lost any energy or any stamina or anything like that. If you lose, you just like, okay, well, I tried. And you could try several times if you wanted to try and find out what works for you. So that's something that's well worth noting as well. Now, the Ancient Altar, this is something you want to make sure you leave until towards the end of the week. Yeah, every day we level up. Every day we get stronger. And, you know, we've got 5 tickets here. You'll get the better you do in terms of damage, the better the rewards you will get out of it. So my one's just reset. I've got 6 days, 15 odd hours to fight this thing. So I'm going to show you the fight. I can't show you the loot because I've actually collected last week's loot. But this is one of the places where you can get gear sets you can't get anywhere else in the game. And some of the most valuable loot in the game. So although it's only a once a week thing, you do want to put some effort into doing this. So I'm going to show you the fight. What happens here is basically you beat up easy. You have to get like the maximum damage to then unlock normal. You can then beat up normal. You can then unlock hard, etc. And you work your way down. I think like last week I beat up novice, which means I'm now able to start on easy. Yeah, so on your first week, you only be able to start on novice and then work your way through. Basically, once you've beaten something up, you can work your way through to the next one. And it shows you what's possible to get in terms of rewards, depending on how much damage you do. Yep, so we're going to start here. What's my achievements? A bunch of stuff to get. Nice, we collect all of that. It's actually good stuff in here that you don't really get anywhere else in the game, I think. Or it's hard to get anyway. Let's go into the challenge. There's 3 bosses, okay? And all of them need a different type of team setup. I don't know if I can do really all of the team setup properly at the moment. So for the first boss, if you were going optimal, I think you would go a tank. I'm using Hercules here, who's pretty good. He shields my team as well. Lilran, these 2 are not geared particularly well, so they might not do a lot. But basically a tank, 1 healer, ideally 2 healers if you've got enough healers in your squad. But I'm using 3 AoE damage dealers. AoE damage, multi-target damage is where you want it to be. The second squad, this is where I'm really short. So basically, it says here, recruit heroes. What that means is bring summoners. You see here, I don't have a single one. I don't have a single summoner that helps me somehow. I don't know. I don't know where these kind of champions come from or why I don't seem to have one yet. And because I don't have a good squad for this fight, I'm actually going to build it last. I'm going to build out my boss fight before that, because this is where you need to do the majority of your damage. Yeah? This is the dude you actually want to take down. And this is single target damage dealers. So you do want a nice tank up front. You do want a healer in the mix. So I use Ravina here and in second, Oysa in the first kind of slot. We want our hunters or our kind of energy champions, single target damage basically. So I'm using my Taylor, Carmore here, and then pretty much one more. I'm actually going to use my, what's this dude called? Randall. Yeah, and then for this, we're going to want to be able to pump up the damage of pretty much the back line here. So I'm going to be using the multi-damage hero here, Brindhild, as my summoner. And then basically anything you've got in terms of your prototypes that's going to help that. So I'm going to buff my tank with that one. And it's the only other one I've got left anyway. So we've got a decent squad for Team 3. Team 2 is going to be like, I'm just throwing in whatever I've got left, honestly, because I do not have a squad that is going to do well on this team. Yeah, and maybe when I get to like later in the week, as I said, you should be doing this later in the week, I might just have a much better squad. But for now, I'm just going to pull out anyone I've got who is kind of half decent left to go in. Which is not a lot, honestly. It's going to be a weak-ass team. How do I get them all up together now? Oh, there we go. It's literally all of my kind of reject group. I've got Artas there. He can go in. Yeah, so that squad's going to do terribly. But hopefully you get an idea. We'll challenge this one, show you the fight, and you can kind of get a feel for it. So tank with a healer, ideally 2 healers. DPS at the back, AoE. So you see, basically we're pummeling the boss at the moment. I'm guessing you must spawn minions to need the AoE. Not sure when the minion spawn comes in. I'll summon Hellhounds. There you go. So yeah, here they are. And you're trying to make sure that you blow those back so the tank's not trying to tank up too many mobs at the same time. And yeah, ideally you're doing as much damage as you can to take this boss down. I think I might be in a position... What sort of health have you got here? 2.4 mil. I might struggle to actually take him down, but I should do good damage against him with the squad that I've got here. As I say, 2 healers would be better because then we're kind of keeping people topped up, whereas at the moment, I'm really struggling to keep people topped up and I've gone down. But you get an idea of the kind of feel of it. Basically, the more you do to these dudes, the better your damage will be to the final boss. This is going to be an absolute like joke of a fight because I just don't have the summoners available. And I think immune to CC. Yeah, basically he prioritizes fighting the summons that you do, which is why summoner mobs would be better. As I don't have any, it makes me just incredibly weak against this dude. Maybe, as I say, throughout the week, I might just get a better position to be able to take it down. But we still get a bit of damage done. We might be able to just slightly improve our chances against the boss for the fight. At the moment, we're just kind of working through this massive shield, which means we're really doing 0 damage to the boss until that's gone. And then we put some effort in. Hopefully do a little... Has anyone done any damage? 100k from my Artas, who's basically wearing nothing. He's naked. So not a bad effort, Artas. Thank you. And again, it just kind of like reduces the final boss's kind of ability to do stuff. That one is shielding. And then we bring the big team in for the final fight. My best tank, my best healer, and then my best DPSer alongside a couple more. And it's the final fight where obviously you're trying to get in as much damage as you can. In an ideal world, some of those people that I used in Team 1 would actually be in this final team as well if I had a bigger kind of squad of heroes to kind of show you. But at least you should get a feel for it and feel for the kind of damage that we can do here. We're doing a decent amount of damage here. You can see we're blasting through the shield quite quick. My Taylor, let's see who's doing the work. Taylor's doing all the work. Taylor's like that, heavy lifting the whole squad. Yeah, he's easily my best geared, plus he's my most evolved hero by a mile. I've just been lucky that I found loads of copies of him. And he is doing a ton of the work. But you can see we're actually punching through the energy bar, through the health bar quite well. I don't know if we've got enough support and sustain to actually beat this boss in full with the team. But basically because we didn't do a great job dealing with the first two bosses. We did an okay job on the first boss, horrendous job on the second boss. It makes this part of the fight a lot harder. And obviously, you know, as I say, I'm right in the beginning of the week. I should be fighting this right at the end of the week where I'm as strong as I can be. So those few changes, I might be able to take this one down quite comfortably by the end of the week. And then kind of move up to the next boss, until you start to really get yourself some nice gear at the end of it as well. You can see we're dropping health here. We're definitely not going to absolutely kill him. If I lose my healer, I'm in a lot of trouble. Yeah, everyone's going down. So we're going to end up getting it down to, you know, what, 3.6 or so mil. Not bad. To be honest, not bad for my first attempt of actually trying with squads that make some sort of sense. And there's a lot of upgrades to heroes that I'm showing here. There's actually a really good video that Dan Howman's done on this specifically, where he kind of goes through different champions to use as well. But your kind of score is basically what you're looking at here. It shows you the rewards that are coming. And then obviously you want to try and improve on that throughout the week. So it shows you, you know, what you can get for doing different levels of damage. I'll come back to it later in the week. So two more. I can't show you. I already done my runs on these, but you've got the Horned Lizard, all DPS. Don't bring a healer. Don't bring a tank. I made this mistake. Full damage. Maximum damage against the Horned Lizard, and you'll get some work done. And the Guild Hunt, just looking through the records of everyone else here, I actually did the most damage twice out of my guild. So it kind of shows you who I use. But I've got in my squad here one healer. And then basically the healer is tanking the boss whilst I've got 4 other of my top DPSs doing all of the damage. So yeah, you can see again here, my Taylor did a ton of the work in my squad. But yeah, just one healer, no tank in this one. And then the 4 others are doing DPS against this boss. So quite weird, actually. I guess this maybe changes over time as you get to higher levels. My guild's a low level right now. But Horned Lizard, no tanks, no healers. And the Guild Hunt, just literally tanking with your healer on the front line with 4 DPSs doing their damage after that. There you go. That's all the bosses I'm fighting at the moment. Actually, a really fun game. If you want to download it, download using my link. I do benefit from that. And it gets you into the mix. And come and join one of the HH Gaming guilds. And yeah, we're having a blast so far. There you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.